Welcome back. 820 Detroit, like so many cities, has seen its ups and downs. But if you were to compare neighborhoods from, let's say, 10 years ago to now, some might not even be recognizable. And that is exactly what the Driving Detroit project is all about. Here to talk to us about this visual presentation is Roman Blankard. First of all, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me this morning.
And things like this are so enlightening because it gives you a side-by-side representation often of how things have changed, and you may not even notice that the change is coming about day by day.
Exactly, and that's what we tried doing. So in 2007, we created a snapshot of the city, and now 10 years later, we decided to revisit about 20 vignettes and update the stories of these places and people. So if we want to look at some pictures.
Yeah, we have some of the pictures right now. And what were your greatest findings with this project?
Well, it really runs the gamut. For example, in 2007, Mr. Young was raising his grandson, doing their Christmas tree. And here they are 10 years later in the same home in the West Davidson, Dexter area. And they say they love their neighborhood. They moved there in the 70s. And even though there is quite a bit of crime and blight, they are still there and they plan on staying there. Then if you move on to another neighborhood, like in the next set of photographs, if you want to pull that up, that is one of the more affluent neighborhood, Palmer Woods.
Okay.
And in 2007, they were suffering. Out of 300 homes, there were about 25 vacancies. And today, only one home is empty. So great change. You can see on the left, that was former Governor Romney's home.
Okay. And when you think about some of the blight that infects the city, that, of course, is going to cause a lot of people to move out. How hard was it to find people who you spoke to in 2007 to touch base with them in the future
It was quite a bit of detective work. We had some great people at the Free Press who were able to help us with that, but a lot of door knocking and hit and miss, you know.
As you spoke about the gentleman in the Davison neighborhood, a lot of people are very prideful, and sometimes they're the last person standing on their block. How did people generally feel about Detroit and their spot in this world?
Sure. Well, this was not really a scientific study on how Detroit is doing, but most of the people we met really were very optimistic about the future of the city, even though I would say a lot of what's happening downtown hasn't really reached the neighborhoods yet.
And then so you remain hopeful that positivity will stretch into the neighborhoods. But how are the neighborhoods doing as it relates to 2007 and now? What's the condition?
Well, I think that one of the main things is there is a lot of less blight, way cleaner neighborhoods. The street lights are on, obviously, and people are really resilient. And I think what's really surprising is the large number of people trying to make their neighborhood better.